But what do we have coming up for you? Well, the very first card that we have as your underlying energy is the Devil. I feel for a lot of you, the question this month is going to be about who or what has power over you. What's holding you back? What's been chaining you? What has you under its control or power? The Devil, it's the card for Capricorn, and I know a lot of Capricorns don't like that, but that's what the sign of Capricorn's about too. We're not saying Capricorns are the devil. That's not what the card says. In fact, none of the signs actually own any of the cards. They just lend their energy to it. And Capricorn is that card of, status and power, and who has power over us? What power do we have? What is our own power? And so in that way, I can see the similarities between Capricorn and the Devil card. I always get loads of people whenever I mention that, Capricorn saying, I don't like it. I'm not calling Capricorns the devil. I actually have a lot of Capricorns in my life, who I love dearly. They're not at all devilish. That's not what the Devil card says. If we have a look at this card, there are two people chained to this devil. So when this card shows up, it's very much asking us to look at what's holding us back, what has us chained. Now, it can sometimes be the card for addiction. It can indicate, substances. They have power over us, right? If it's alcohol, if it's drugs, if it's porn, it can be anything, that has power over us. That can be why it's sometimes seen as the addiction card, but it can also be old behavioral patterns. Sometimes it can indicate karmic relationships that we're kind of tied to. Oftentimes when this card comes up, that's when people are asking me about cutting cords. I'm tied to this person. I can't let go of this person, or, I'm trying to move away. I'm trying to move on, but this person keeps coming back. So it's that kind of an energy too. It's anything that has power over us or that we're tied to. Now, the message from the Devil card is that only those things that we allow to hold us back can hold us back. And that kind of message is echoed through the rest of your reading. It's not a negative reading. And it kind of feels like if you're looking at energies like this, if you're looking at who has power over me? What has power over me? Have I slipped back into old ways of behaving, old behavior patterns, or, relationship patterns? And this can be any relationship, with colleagues, in love, with friends and family. This can be us looking at, where there's kind of a toxic element in that, where things are just not working or we're being held back. It's very much that kind of energy. But let's see how it plays out in the rest of your reading. At the heart of your reading, you have the Six of Wands. Now, this is a card of recognition, of success, of, where we've done work, or we've succeeded in one area of our lives and we're being recognized for it. It is a victory card. It's success. As we see in this card, there's a returning hero, and there's reeds, and there's people out to greet him to say well done, job well done. How does this play out though? Well, for work, it's very easy, right? You could be recognized for a job well done, or you're kind of working to be recognized. It's at the heart of your reading. The card at the heart is what everything revolves around. Either you're experiencing this right now, or it's something that you're trying to move towards, to gain. You're trying to gain this recognition. With the combination of the Devil and the Six of Wands, though, there can be a sense of that you're working towards getting recognized or success, even in a relationship. Maybe you've been putting in a lot of work into your love life, whether you're single or not. You could be doing it, you could be trying to date different kinds of people. You could have been working on your behavior patterns, relationship patterns that you have. So even if you're single, you could be putting in a lot of work and you're but I'm not seeing the success yet. I'm not seeing the returns of this. I keep dating guys and, I keep kissing all these frogs and I haven't met my prince yet. So there can be a sense of that. But even in a relationship, maybe you've been plugging away, putting in effort into a relationship, and, you want a certain level of success. And success can be anything, right? It can be that you want to work through a problem with your partner, or, you want to get to a new place, together. It's wands. It's the energy that we put out into the world. So it can be maybe you want to move in together. Maybe you want to buy a house together. It can be anything. It can be that kind of, whatever you kind of determine as a success for you, as, a victory for you, what you want to be recognized for. But overall, that energy of the Devil and the Six of Wands, it makes me think even in work, some of you may be putting in effort into a job or a project and you're getting recognized for it, but it's bringing up these kind of devil-like issues of things that hold you back. Because maybe, I don't know, say you're good at one area at work and you're so good at it. You're the one that's best at that job, and you want to kind of expand and move to a different area. But you're kind of being stuck there now because you're so good at it. You're recognized as being, that's your field, that's your area. And you do it better than anyone else there. but it's still holding you back because you want to move into a different area, if that makes sense. You want to move to a different project, but they won't let you, like, the higher ups won't let you because you're so good at that. So you kind of feel stuck there. So there can be this sense of like a double-edged sword, like, it's recognition and success on one hand, but you're still kind of being held. It's almost as if that's what's holding you back. The work that you're putting in is what's holding you back. Maybe it can be a sense of, I've put in so much effort and work now into this relationship, or, this area of my life or this project that I kind of feel stuck there now, but I want to move on. So there can be this sense of trying to figure out, where your efforts have been put, where you're being recognized, for the work that you've put in, but it feels like it's still holding you back. Now, why is that? Well, we look to the past, and the foundation for your reading is the Four of Wands. So again, this kind of says it's more wands. So you guys have been putting in effort. You've been putting in work. The Four of Wands, it's about a great start has been made. Think about it. The Ace of Wands is the spark or the idea, the initial excitement, enthusiasm to start something new. It's the energy that you put out. It's that passion, that creative venture even. Then with the Two of Wands, you made decisions. Which way am I going to go? What action am I going to take? With the Three, you started to see the first returns of the efforts that you're putting in. So the Four of Wands, it's a four, and fours are very stable energies. It can be when you hit that first kind of plateau and you've got a level of success and you're committing more to what it is. So whatever it is that you've been putting your efforts towards, you fully committed to it with this Four of Wands energy. Now the Four of Wands, it can be a house move, a new job, because it's a change in the energy around us, but it's a change that it supports us. It supports our creative ventures. It supports the energy that we put out into the world. It always speaks of a commitment to something. So sometimes this can indicate a celebration. It can indicate a higher level of commitment within a relationship. That there's a deeper level of commitment, like within a relationship. If you've just been dating, you might be going steady now. If you've been going steady for a while, you might move in together or get engaged. So it's that kind of a commitment. So whatever you've been doing, you did fully commit to it. And it's been fine. You have Six of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. These are great energies to have. But this is that sticky patch that I'm saying you kind of hit. The card for the present, it's the Seven of Swords. Now, the energy that comes up in the present, it's the main energy for this period. Obviously, the energies play out differently. I often have people saying, like, when is this going to play out? Well, that's really up to you. The energies that are presented, they are there, they're available to us. Some of us, we want those energies, so we go with them, and they happen faster. They can happen in 1 week. Others of us, we resist it or we don't want that. So then we select a different way of doing things. And that's viable too. That's good. We have free will. We can choose what we want to do. Some energies are easier to dodge than others. But I do usually say that the energy that comes up in the present is the main energy for this period. And this is the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords is often called the liar, cheater, deception card. It's that thief in the night. So this is going to play out differently for all of you. And remember, the energies that come up here, they're not always your energies. They can be the energies if you're closely linked to someone right now, if you're working very closely with someone, or you've got kind of relationship stuff going on. This can be the other person's energies. Now, I'm not saying to you guys that are in relationships that your partner is lying to you, although there can be lies and deception when the Seven of Swords comes out. But whenever I see this card, I always think the reason it comes up, because it's being shown to us, right? It will be presented to you, like those lies, that deception, or whatever it is that someone's been trying to avoid, it becomes unavoidable. Because the Seven of Swords can sometimes be a risk that we don't want to take. So it isn't always, it can be like not someone just lying to us or we're having to deal with someone else's deception. It can be us kind of deceiving ourselves almost, like, we're saying, no, we don't need to do that right now, or I don't need to face that right now, because it's a risk that we don't want to take. Because think about it, this guy is off on this camp in the middle of the night stealing the swords. And swords represent our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, and how we communicate them. So this can be sometimes, those kind of how we're kind of trying to talk ourselves out of something, or I don't really need to do this. There is this kind of element of comfort zones coming up. And I do feel that. I feel that there's been effort put in with the Six of Wands, with the Four of Wands. There's been effort put in, whether that's a relationship, a job, something that you've put in a lot of time, effort, energy. You've been working on this. You've been working on yourself. And now you've hit that point where you're like, you've hit like your boundary. It's your comfort zone. And you're thinking, do I want to go beyond this? And that's kind of the energy that's coming up, especially with the devil coming up there. But it's time to really look at what's holding you back. Is it your fears that are holding you back? The people that you're dealing with, are they being honest with you? What you're being told. And you'll know this with the Seven of Swords coming up, with the devil coming up there. there is a sense of knowing of, that this doesn't seem right, or, what's the reason that I don't want to deal with this? What's the reason that I'm not ready to risk this? With that Four of Wands, somebody might have proposed to you. Like, this is just one example of how the energies can play out. Someone may have proposed to you, or, offered you a level of commitment and you were fine with it, but now you're feeling something's not right with this. And it's when we can talk ourselves out. We're like, no, but we've been together for 5 years and stuff. It's time to do this. But really, some of you might be feeling, I'm not really interested in this person anymore. But, because I've put in all this time and effort, I'm sticking with it. And same with a job that, you may be now starting a new job. Four of Wands can indicate a new job or a house move. And you thought it would bring you a level of happiness or, success, even with the Six of Wands there, but it's not enough with that Seven of Swords. Or some of you have an offer like that. Like, you have the opportunity, or something's been in the kind of works for a while now to put you towards this kind of new energy. And you're not sure if you want to take the risk. So the Devil there is asking you, like, what's holding you back? For some of you, it's going to be a valid reason. And then there's a question of like changing courses. What new course would you take? What new path would you take? For others of you, it's just going to be your fears. And, I say just. Fears are huge, right? Whenever we act, wherever we come from, we usually act from what our fears are. We want to avoid pain at all costs. That's what we do as human beings. So the Devil and the Seven of Swords, to me, it's really asking you, Scorpio, to look at what's holding you back and why. What's the truth here? What's the reality here? And I do feel like you do this because you have the Nine of Pentacles coming up as a future energy. Now, the Nine of Pentacles, it's a card of confidence and independence. So even if you kind of feel this kind of trickiness and, we're in Libra season and that's the 12th house for Scorpio. So there can be this sense of like underlying fears coming up, that stuff that's been going on under the surface and it kind of comes up. And that's what your energy is anyway, Scorpio. That's what you guys are very good at. Bringing out that kind of darkness of what's underneath the shadow work. And in the Nine of Pentacles, what I do see is a level of independence and a level of confidence that comes in. Now, it's good because if the Devil energy's been there and you kind of feel chained to a situation or, chained to a certain person, the Nine of Pentacles is the opposite of that. This is someone who stands alone, right? She's standing there alone. So it does show, a sense of the chains kind of falling away with the Nine of Pentacles there. But each card has a more positive and a more negative kind of energy to it. And I don't even like that polarity because I don't believe in good or bad. I think everything serves us. So in one sense, the Nine of Pentacles is great because it has this message of you're independent, you're confident, everything around you, you've created from your own efforts. It's a card of success, especially with the Six of Wands sat above it. That whatever that success is, whatever victory you've achieved, whatever you gain from this, you have done it yourself with that Nine of Pentacles. But with the Seven of Swords coming before this, it can sometimes be very easy to get stuck in that garden. Like, what do I mean by that? Well, in the Nine of Pentacles, we see this beautiful garden. Like we see here, this woman's walking on a path of pentacles. She has created all of that. But it can indicate a safe space sometimes. Like, that I've created all of this. I've got this level of success now. But it can become a gilded cage. Like you don't want to break out of that. It's like, it's nice here. I made this. I created this space, this safe space. I want to stay here. And the Nine of Pentacles then sometimes says it's time to break out of that. It's time to break, to look outside of the garden, to look at the world beyond this, that you can expand your garden. You can have more than this. It's a very kind of simple, clear message that's coming through. It's very much speaks of looking at, your boundaries, your comfort zone. What are you breaking out of? And I do kind of feel like a lot of you are going to be staring that right in the face this month and deciding that, I want more than this. I want to break out of this. I want, a deeper level of commitment in my relationships. I want more from my work. And also looking at what's been holding you back. Like, if you haven't been able to get that relationship that you want or get that level of commitment, has something been holding you back? Have you not been committing fully? With work as well, like, have you just been doing that job because it's easier and it pays the bills and stuff? Or is it time now to break out of that, to take a risk? Seven of Swords, it can be about taking a risk. So what's the advice here? What are the cards telling you? We look at the crowning energy for that, and that's, how do we achieve our goals, our aims, our ambitions? And you have the Queen of Swords here. So now some of you may be dealing with an air sign. The Queen of Swords can represent an Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. But the way the kind of cards have been going, it's very personal energies coming up. I feel for a lot of you, this is you becoming very clear on what your truth is. The Queen of Swords is sometimes known as the heartbreak queen. Like, she's gone through every difficult experience that you can imagine. But she's turned those experiences, those difficult experiences, she's turned them into knowledge. Like, she now knows what to do. She's like, I've survived all of this. I know the answers. She's very good at making decisions. She will speak her truth, and she has no problem speaking her truth. And she sits there with that sword. Why does she have that sword? Because that is the sword of truth. If anyone comes to her with lies, and we have that Seven of Swords coming up in the present, if there have been lies, she cuts away at this. So there is this sense of going from a place of where, things may have not been on the up and up. Things that may not have been clear, but by the end of the month, things are very much, much clearer with the Queen of Swords there. She speaks the truth. She only deals with the truth, and she doesn't play. Like, she doesn't care. She can be very stern. She's a queen, so the queens are very supportive and they can help you. Queen energy can be very helpful energy. And remember, even though I'm saying Queen of Swords, it can refer to male or female energy. It's the energy of this court card that we look at. And there's an element of this truth coming up, like someone that, I don't want to deal with anything but the truth. Now we have the Four of Wands coming up above this. So this may be you re-looking at that commitment, whether you've committed to a relationship, a job, a house move, whatever that change in the energy around you has been. You're looking at that without your rose tinted glasses on, like really looking at it and thinking, what is the truth here and what do I really want? Now, the combination of the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, that is a very confident energy to have. This is kind of setting forward, knowing what you want, being able to make those difficult decisions. It's a much freer energy than what the Devil was showing at the beginning, which is being tied to something. Let's have a look at the advice that we have for you from your oracle cards. The very first card that comes up is heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. And maybe that's where the Seven of Swords energies come up. Maybe that's where, we realize that we haven't been completely honest with other people. And it doesn't have to be kind of nefarious. It doesn't have to be any dark intent there. How often do we just not say things because we don't want to offend the other person, or we don't want to get into trouble at work? Like, we're not fully saying how we feel. It is the romance angel, so I'm going to apply this to your love life. But this could be in a relationship where, maybe it's time now to kind of say how you truly feel, or the other person may say it to you. This could be you meeting someone new and having conversations like this, or just deciding in yourself what your truth is and how you want to communicate that to anyone new coming into your love life, or to anyone, existing that's already there. Then from the Whispers of Love deck, we have number 29, forgiveness. And the message here is nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. Again, I'm wondering, who do you guys have to forgive with that Seven of Swords energy? Like, what has not, it just feels like something is revealed here. Some truth is revealed, or some truth is acknowledged within yourself, if not from someone else. And forgiveness, I always say it's the F word that no one wants to deal with. Why? Because, we feel like when we forgive someone, we're condoning their actions, and forgiveness isn't about that. It's not about condoning anything. It's not saying to the other person that, hey, it's okay for you to treat me in this kind of horrible way, or for you to do these horrible things to me. It's not about that. Forgiveness doesn't even have to be about someone. If someone's left your life, if someone, treated you badly, if they lied to you, deceived you, this is not about you calling them up and saying, hey, it's cool, I forgive you, and reinitiating that contact. You don't have to do that. You don't have to go back for more. But the forgiveness part is for yourself. And we forgive to free ourselves from whatever that pain is. And sometimes we have to forgive ourselves. Sometimes we can be annoyed with ourselves that, how did I allow myself to do this? How did I allow myself to, let someone have this power over me, or something have this power over me? So when we forgive, we free ourselves. Because when we are not forgiving, when we keep going over the pain or the hurt that someone's caused us, we allow them to hurt us anew every day, right? Every time we feel that pain, they might have gone off. They might be off doing something else now. They might not even be in our lives. But our memory on going back over it, it's going to keep hurting us. It's going to keep causing like pain anew every single day. So when we forgive, we free ourselves. And again, that's that devil energy, freeing ourselves from that which holds us back. Now, the advice from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck is number 29, breathe. This is a card of patience. It's a card of, going slowly, taking it easy. It can be a card of meditation, of reflection. But the message here is very much like slow down, breathe, whatever's going on, whatever this because think about it, that kind of sticky energy, that's the devil and the 7 of swords. And that's only on one side. You can tell by the colors of the cards. Those are the kind of darkish cards. Everything else is very vibrant. So there is energy around you, but it feels like you hit a sticky patch and it's like you can breathe through this. So if you feel kind of overwhelmed, if you come into some kind of knowledge or you've discovered something during this period, take a deep breath and understand that you can get through this. You will get through this. Sometimes we just need to stop and breathe, just to catch our breath even, and to understand, okay, what am I going to do now? And it sounds kind of counterintuitive sometimes, like you think, if there's a problem, I need to deal with it. I need to deal with it straight away. But sometimes you don't need to deal with it straight away. Sometimes you need to allow that space for yourself, just to stop, just to think, just to breathe, to allow kind of the answer to come to you, to take a moment, to let it kind of sink in. Now, the message from the Energy Oracle cards is number 38, 4th Chakra, Archangel Raphael. This is a card about love, compassion, and complete self-acceptance. The kind of lovely greens in this card, they kind of indicate the heart chakra, our heart center. And this is being ready to receive love as well as to give it. And loving ourselves as well. Like maybe this question or this doubt or this not wanting to face something or not wanting to take the risk comes from being hurt in the past. Comes from, having opened up our heart chakra in the past and it being abused, or, we've allowed ourselves to kind of let other people control us, or be in a work situation where they're kind of working us too much, or we're not getting the compensation that we deserve for the work that we do. And when the 4th Chakra Archangel Raphael card comes up, it's about, do you love yourself? Do you have complete self-acceptance? Because when you love yourself, you want the best for yourself. You're going to say I deserve more than this. And it's interesting that it comes up under the forgiveness card, because sometimes, like I said, we have to forgive ourselves. And this is dealing with ourselves with love and compassion, being gentle with ourselves. I've said this often that, a lot of times we can be so kind and compassionate to other people. And yet when it comes to ourselves, if we're in that same situation, we can be so harsh to ourselves, like we berate ourselves when we're afraid or when we're kind of lost. We tell ourselves you're a loser. You need to be able to do this. Why? You wouldn't tell it to someone else. You'd probably hug someone else and say, it's okay, don't worry, we'll get through this. So this is about loving ourselves, being compassionate with ourselves, accepting ourselves for who we are, forgiving ourselves if need be. And then that kind of plays out, that kind of widens out to the kind of people around us and the situations around us. Now, each of the Energy Oracle cards does have an affirmation. I'm going to end with the affirmation for 4th Chakra Archangel Raphael. And it says, my heart center, my 4th chakra, is open to its perfect, healthy, and joyful state. The energy of love flows through me now. I live in love.